Hello everyone! Welcome to the Wealth Energetics class. Today we're going to talk about the difference between doing things in your business from choice versus obligation, and why it's so important energetically to shift into the alignment of choice, and how the obligation is actually a form of self-sabotage. So let me know you're watching. Send me an emoji, or if you're watching on a replay, put the hashtag replay so that I know that you are there. All right, so today we're talking about choice versus obligation in your business. I know that you're the type of person that likes to innovate, to create incredible new something that is coming into your business and through you out into your audience. You like to change things, you like to bring new concepts, you're generally successful in what you do. But you're not always loving everything that you're doing in your business, right? Nobody is. This is kind of part of being a human being, is that when we have a business, we get to do sometimes things we don't always love. So it could be, for example, that you might love coaching your clients. You might love working with them and delivering this incredible advice and energy and support and all of that, so that they can have this great result, right, by working with you. But at the same time, you might really dread marketing. Or you might love writing a post, but making a video, oh God, this is so too much or too scary or something. We always have something that we love in our business and something that we don't always enjoy fully doing. So it could be that you are really liking teaching something specific, but then you maybe don't like, let's say, how you are have to follow up with people. Like maybe that is the difficult thing for you. So there's always something. And why do we want to look at that? Okay, so let's look at the energetics of choice versus obligation. Obligation is always based in lack. So when we're in the energy of I have to do something, we are in the energy of lack, and we're actually kind of being small. We're being like a child, and then there's something outside, some other authority, like a parent, that's telling us that we have to do something. So in reality, who's there telling us, right? I mean, why did we start a business? We all started the businesses because we were excited about it. We wanted to serve. We wanted to help out. We wanted to bring something awesome into this world. We had this fire in us that wanted to come out, or maybe a beautiful waterfall that wanted to come out. Whatever it is, there was originally a spark that activated that. So that is the energy that definitely is not connected to, oh, I have to, right? It's the energy of I want to, I desire to, this is so awesome, versus, oh, I have to. So anytime we're in the energy of I have to do something, and a lot of times it's actually something you might like, but in that moment you don't, there's a resistance, and then it translates into lack. So then it feels like an obligation. Like maybe normally you just love coaching your clients, but specific day you might feel like, oh, I have to, do I have to, I don't want to. So that does happen, but there is an energy sabotage that's going on at that time. And if that's left unchecked, this festers. It starts to go into other areas of our lives, and it stops being something that's beneficial for you. So in order to feel like you're in a flow of life, you are in alignment, and you feel there is ease, there's openness, there's spaciousness in your business, you need to be in the energy of choice. So choice is essentially flow. When we are in the energy of obligation, we are overriding something about ourselves. When we're in the energy of choice, there is no override. There is working with the part of ourselves that might have had a difficulty. We're sort of like coaching within us that part to come on board so that we can actually show up fully and congruently as all of us, versus coming in as only a little part of us. So what normally happens when we're in the energy of obligation is that we end up just doing one thing. We end up just doing like something one that feels like it's hard, but we have to do it and we're struggling with it. And all in all, it's not a fun energy. So being able to switch to choice is an incredible ability for you to be actually who you are meant to be in your business with feeling of joy, feeling like you are aligned, feeling like everything is making sense in your life because you are in the correct place within your energetics. Okay, so I'm going to check to make sure that I actually am live and everything is working. Yep, there it is. This is great. So, all right, now choice and obligation as two energies, they are opposite of each other. And when we are overriding something within ourselves, we are making ourselves small, and that energetically translates as taking your power away, right? So when you want to do something in your business, don't you want to do it with power, right? With confidence, with certainty, with strength, in alignment with your soul, with your internal natural force of innovation and creativity. But if we tell ourselves that, oh, I have to do this, we're in the energy of obligation and we just took that power away from ourselves. So now we're still doing the same task, but now, unfortunately, we have to put so much more effort into the same task simply because now the universal force cannot flow through us. See, in order to have ease and flow in your business, it's actually not so much us, it's us aligning with the universal flow. This is one thing I hear all the time from my clients, that when they were doing something before we started working together, they were saying like, it's hard, I'm doing all the right things, but it's hard. And then when we adjust that, like, okay, you need to make sure you're in alignment with the universe. Now the universe is backing you up. It's the universal energy that now is fueling your action. You still got to do the action. The personality is still going to have to do whatever has to be done in business, right? But at the same time, you are empowered, supported, and inspired by what's happening, instead of feeling like you are pressured and tense and forcing something. So that's the main energetical differences between the obligation and choice. All right, so for the ones of you who don't know me, I'm Eugenia Oganova. I'm Wealth Energetics Business and Marketing Coach for coaches and healers and holistic health professionals and conscious entrepreneurs who want to align their energetics and energetics of their business together so that they are living their soul design within their business, so that it fits them like this perfect outfit, and that they feel free and joyful within the business, and then they are able to maintain it, to bring it further up in frequency and in income, past the 6 figures into the next level and so on, and bring in the clients that resonate with the type of energy that they are meant to broadcast. So then it feels like you're living your purpose. Today we are talking about the difference between the energy of choice and the energy of obligation in your business, and why those two things are really essential for you to get as the business owner in order to be a successful business owner. So now, how to be in choice? What does it even mean to really switch to choice when you have to do some things that you might not like doing? In order to be in choice, one of the first things that you can do with ease is to shift from the energy of I have to into I get to. You can kind of tell the difference, right? I have to feels like your energy goes down. I get to, your energy goes up. The reason for that is because when we shift into I get to, we are feeling fortunate. We are feeling alive. That's because universal energy now runs through us. So it empowers your business, it empowers your action. That means whatever you're going to be doing, let's say you have to do some things in your business, but you're feeling about them, even if you don't always like them, but you're feeling about them like you get to do them. That makes you feel fortunate. That makes you feel like you are learning something, you are growing. This is going to be awesome for you and for your clients and whatever that action that you're doing is supposed to create. So that shift from having to I get to do it is something that you need to pay attention to all the time when you notice you're getting stuck in the obligation. Anytime you notice that, like that dread energy comes in and you're like, I don't really want to do it, look at this shift. Where am I saying to myself that I have to? We don't have to anything. You're a free soul. You don't have to anything. But you choose to. You started the business because you want to, because you are so inspired by the idea of bringing something new into this planet, onto your audience, your clients, and changing their lives, right? Making an impact, making a difference. This is important to you. So that's what you want to connect to instead of the I have to. Then even the most difficult task that you don't like can feel easier. It doesn't mean that it's going to like completely be super easy, whatever, like no problem. Usually there's still some difficulty. I mean, if something that was hard for you to begin with, of course, there's going to be some friction. But there's a difference if we label that friction as, oh, it's hard and I'm dreading it, versus, oh, this is just a growing process, right? Like growing pains, the friction that allows you to move to the next level, to go beyond where you are now to something that you can bring even more for your clients, to deliver even more something for your business. And that goes for even the most simplest of tasks. So when you feel like, oh, I have to send this email, or I have to write that post, that's looks like a really simple, small thing, but actually it's still part of energetically of how you're broadcasting to the world. That's why it is so essential that whatever you're broadcasting is a consistent energy of fortunate, abundance, flow, connectedness. As soon as we shift out of that, we actually sabotage our own abundance. And then, I hear people wondering, well, how come I just do this and it never works? Well, do you do this consistently? Do you do whatever that action you think is supposed to bring you the result consistently? Or are you like doing sporadically here and there, and then as soon as you stop doing, you're in the energy of obligation and pushing back and lack and collapse, right? As soon as that happens, we actually sabotage the very thing that we're trying to create. We miscreate. Every time we are not consistent with our frequency, with the broadcast that comes off you, as soon as you're inconsistent, you're actually telling universe conflicting messages. You're telling it like, hey, I'm going to send this email or make this post and my clients are going to so love this, or new people are going to come in and click on this post or comment and like and show up and whatever, become my great clients, and I can, change their lives. And then, oh, nobody clicked on this post, or oh, I have to even write the post, and oh, now I have to post it. So you just gave universe two messages. One was saying, great, I'm ready to serve here, like utilize me, I'm the channel for this amazing something. And another one is, I don't want to be the channel for anything because I'm not liking this and I demand that it should be easy. We don't really get to demand with the universe because it's much bigger than us and it has its own rules. So we need to actually align with the universe instead of demanding it to give us something. And the way to align with it is this: shifting from the I have to into I get to. I get to do this. This is going to be fun. How can I get myself on board to enjoy this? That's the shift you want to be looking at. Okay, so the second thing that you can do in order to help yourself switch from obligation to choice is make a decision and make it fully. That's one thing I see a lot with women entrepreneurs, is that we sort of decide, but then we kind of undecide. And it might be part of the female nature in general, but it's not beneficial for your business. So this is where you need to really watch out for making decision all the way. You can change your decision later, but there's a difference in going the course and then later on course correcting because you notice something. This is how intuition works. This is how guidance works. This is how universe can give you a sign or whatever to help you navigate. But you have to be moving in order for it to navigate. So if we can't decide and we're just stuck at the fork on the road and it's like, well, I don't know about this, I'm going to do this strategy, but oh no, it's not gonna work. But I'm gonna do this, so I'm gonna post twice, but no, it's not gonna work. Well, I'm gonna post one more time, oh, it's not gonna work, I better do a webinar. And then like we keep moving between different things. When we do that, the energy of obligation ends up being the biggest sort of drain on our energy, because we're feeling obligated to figure it out, to do something, but we're not giving the universe a chance to actually help us because it can't help us if we're not moving. So decide fully. Like literally, if you're noticing that this is one of your issues, then this is something you would need to consciously play with. Like notice if you're doing this ambiguous thing and indecision, then literally look at it like, okay, what do I choose to do here? It's not good or bad, whatever. I mean, at some point, you just have to decide, even if you don't know. Use your intuition, talk to your angels, charge your crystals, do whatever it takes, but then make the decision. When you made the decision, stick to it. Internally tell yourself, okay, universe, I'm giving you the message. I have decided I'm going to do this in my business. Like, let's say I'm going to post on Instagram, let's say once a week. I'm going to put a, video on YouTube once a week or whatever it is, or maybe every day, or maybe 10 times a day, whatever your choice is. Or I decide that this is my boundary with my clients, or I decide that this is how I'm going to feel inside my business. Whatever your decision is, proclaim it and stick to it. Then as you keep doing whatever the action is, that action is now coming out of choice, which means it's empowered by the universal energy instead of you having to push yourself to make it happen. And that also means that the universe can give you messages. This is where we get guidance. It could be your intuition. It could be some message comes into your life from, license plate in the car in front of you, or somebody's email, or something you saw in passing on Facebook, or something you heard on a podcast. But whatever those messages are, they're usually not going to be about like, oh, do something completely different. That's more of only happens when we think we're getting messages, but we're actually simply in indecision and fear. But once you have decided, the messages are congruent with your decision, but they might show you a little bit like, oh, more this way, more that way. So it's a teeny little navigational shifts in order to help you arrive to where you're actually going with more ease. But in order for the universe to do that for you, you have to actually decide, okay? So that helps with the choice versus obligation as well. And the third component that I'm going to tell you about today as to what you can do in order to shift out of obligation in your business into choice is look at how will I benefit by doing this? How will my clients benefit by doing this? So you are looking for something beneficial in order to serve. So what that means is, like, let's say you decided, you made a decision, you now learn how to do that. You decided that, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show up once a week and, make a video, let's say. Okay. Once you decided that, if you're still noticing a little bit of an internal squirming about, like something in you is saying like, oh my God, I don't know, that means there's something else a little bit missing. Some part of you is not on board. So like, let's say part of you that's decided, maybe it's 80% of you, but the 20% still didn't get the memo. So you want to help that part of you get the memo. And that does not mean override it and drag it along, like unfortunately what a lot of people do in order to just make some action happen. But instead, it's actually more like talking to that component of yourself and showing her the benefit of the action that you have decided to do. So if, let's say, the example I said earlier, you decided you're going to post a video once a week, and you're good with the idea, and then it's actually time to do the video or to post the video, and you're getting this energy. Okay, that means part of you is not fully on board with what you decided. So you would want to talk to that part and say, okay, sweetie, what is it here that you're actually feeling? And how can I help you want to do this action? What do you need from me right now? Not anybody else. Nobody else here is involved. It's internal, so it's only within you and you. So it's the bigger you that made a decision, and it's the smaller you that's resisting the decision that need to have a conversation. And the smaller you needs to get the clarity as to why that action is going to benefit her, benefit you, benefit the clients. That creates the flow of service. You're serving that little part of you, so she gets love and support and gets on board, and then together you get to serve the people for whom you're doing whatever you're doing. All right? So shifting the energy of, I don't want to do it and I'm not getting anything out of it, I don't want it, into, what do I get from this? How can I benefit myself by doing it? Like a simple benefit could be, well, I get to be brave and then learn my capacity for courage, like how much I can actually do. I get to show myself what I'm made of. I get to actually learn something about myself by putting myself in a slightly uncomfortable situation. Or sometimes it could be not even that, but the benefit is already there, and a part of you that's resisting is because she's looking for something else. Like maybe she needs a little bit of food before she does whatever it is. Maybe she needs to go for a walk before you do that. So you need to sort of work with yourself instead of against yourself. That's the part I started this conversation today, this whole class about choice versus obligation, is that you don't want to override yourself. The obligation is a form of overriding. When we override ourselves, what happens is that we end up pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing down some parts of us that do not want to go along on a journey. What do you think happens to those parts? Eventually, it's like a cork out of the bottle. They blow up, they come out. So that I see so often with women entrepreneurs, that they push themselves down, they kind of tighten all the lids and go and make something happen. And then they arrive where they're supposed to be enjoying, but because they arrive there by the energy of obligation, instead of enjoying, suddenly the lid comes off and they feel suddenly exhausted or body aches or just miserable or whatever. And that's actually what burnout feels like. Burnout is simply because we did not take all the parts of us along on our own journey. So in order to enjoy your business and be able to sustainably scale it, you really need to make sure that you are in the energy of choice. Okay? So that's what for today, that we looked at the choice versus obligation, and we looked at the 3 most important things that you want to look for in helping yourself shifting from one to another, right? The first thing was switching to get to from have to. Another one was making your decision fully and completely and not vacillating between the two. And the third thing was to look for the benefit for yourself and for whoever you're delivering it to, service, by taking with you, by having the conversation of all the parts of you that might have originally resisted the journey. All right, so there you have it. The next thing that I want you guys to do right now, if you're not in my Facebook group yet, please join. It's a Wealth Energetics for Women Entrepreneurs. This is the group where I share all sorts of ideas and support and advice on your energetics for business, for marketing, for sales, for how to handle emotions and how to attract clients and everything else. So I have the link in the description here of this video. Find the link, click the link. It will take you to my group. There will be 3 questions that you need to answer. Please do. I will not take you in unless you answer the questions. And then you can come in and ask me any question you want, anything you are interested in within the parameters of your business and your coaching practice, your healing practice. I would love to support you. All right, my dears. So my love to you. Have yourself a wonderful evening.